What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Fuse Meet session.
Hello.
You're here with me, Ian Kane, and today I've got my esteemed colleague, Luka from Voltage Finance with me. How you doing, Luka? You good today?
Very good, very good. Happy to be on here again. Happy to here to share the project Voltage. Happy to share what we've been through lately, what we just published. Let's go.
That's it, man. Lots and lots and lots of stuff happening as always. Lots of questions for me, for Luka. We've got some good community questions too, and we'll jump into those right at the end. But what we're here today to talk about is the release of Voltage V3. So that's what we'll be focusing on in this chat. Okay, so, and at some point in the chat as well, I'll bring up the Voltage deck so you guys can see what we're talking about. If you've got any questions, please do fire them into the section. And if they're good questions, then I will ask Luka. If they're bad questions, I probably won't ask them, guys. So make it good. And if they're copies of other questions, then I definitely won't ask them. So unique out there, all right? So, Luka, let us begin. So Voltage is the leading DEX on Fuse Network. As such, that's why we're here to discuss what's been happening. So Voltage V3 was launched about a week ago, I think. And we've already started seeing some traction with TVL. It's growing by the day. Can you introduce, Luka, introduce us to what Voltage V3 is and how it was rolled out, please?
Sure. So first of all, Voltage V3, as we published it, is actually a fork of Uniswap V3. So if you're familiar with Uniswap, I think it's probably the most popular exchange in the crypto DeFi industry, right? We basically created a fork that we adapted to the Fuse blockchain to push out on Voltage. And what it is, basically, it allows users to actually set positions with like detailed ranges where they want their liquidity positions to be positioned in order to get more fees, basically. And also, it's much better for traders. There's much less slippage as well. So actually, the rollout of Voltage V3 has been done very smoothly. We didn't announce this out of the blue, let's say. First of all, a month ago, we announced the beta version. The beta version was basically Voltage V3, but only with two pools. One was stable, the other one was with both and Fuse. And that was a way for us to start a test with the community a little bit, basically how the community reacted to it, but also trying to educate our users slowly but surely about the features, how to use it, because it's a bit more complicated than the usual AMM that we use in Voltage V2, which was, in our opinion, outdated. Wanted to move to the more recent version, which is V3.
Nice, man. I think for your everyday traders, V3 probably makes a lot of sense immediately, right? Like they get to the platform, they understand it. I think when we say it's a little bit more complicated, it's probably for the newer users out there that are perhaps just getting into liquidity providing, and then this is like a whole new element to this. They're just getting to grips with liquidity, and now you're presenting V3. So, but it's an evolution of the deck, so it's very important. And one of the most important things is that it brings more opportunities to Fuse token holders and people in the community. So let's go through those opportunities a little bit, Luka, please.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm personally very excited about all these opportunities that are coming with V3. First of all, as it is for us very important that most of the liquidity from our community moves to V3, also for them actually, but for us as well. We decided that most of the incentives would be transitioned from the V2, so the not deprecated, but let's say older decks would be moving to V3. So before, for the OG users here, we had dual rewards that was involved in Fuse. Those were in certain pools on V2. Right now, they all migrated to the V3 pools. By the way, if you want, maybe the best thing is, if you show it perfectly, if you show how it looks like, if you click on V3, you should be able to see the V3 pools and also farms. But yeah, so first of all, higher yield. So let's say most of the yield that the new minted Volt tokens every month are actually more than 50% of those Volt tokens are directly going to V3 farms. And also users that provide liquidity to those new pools receive higher fees as well. So I'm going to break down later on the fees, how it's done. But let's say for now, if you provide liquidity to V3 pools, you have much more, let's say, rewards than on V2 farms. Also, second thing is flexibility. It wasn't possible with V2, but now with V3, anyone can just open a pool on Voltage. That's also very cool, right? And you can also set your own fee mechanism. That's also for advanced traders, a little gem. Third thing that we introduced, and that's a big one. I hope we can talk about it a bit later in this AMA, but big thing is the Volt tokenomics upgrade. And that introduces burning mechanism. A lot of the people in the community have been asking for this, and this is actually here. Very exciting, and also higher incentives to vote stakers at the same time. So that's very exciting too. And I think last but not least, also an improved UI, right? Since we launched the beta, we had also feedback from the community that we took very dearly, and because it's very important to us that we get the feedback so we can get better all the time. And so we try to really improve on the UI as well from the beta to the full launch.
Yeah. Okay, man. Okay. We're getting some questions in, people talking about listings and tokens, and we're going to get to that, guys. We're going to get to that, guys. Just hold tight. All right. Okay, so we've gone through basically what V3 is. I flashed it up on the screen there. Now, Luka, for the people that are less savvy with DeFi and crypto and LP, are there guides available for people? Are you working on some guides that people can use so that they can action all this stuff quite simply, right?
Yes, yes, so definitely. So there's two things. The first one is I would recommend anyone that has questions about Voltage V3. The source of information is one, the blog article we posted. That's maybe the announcement to have like a broader idea of what it is. And second thing, if you want to go into more details, we have an updated documentation page detailed on V3. So you go to Voltage documentation, you go to our website, scroll down, you'll see documentation. You click on documentation, and then you go directly to pools, the pools tab, and under pools you will see Voltage V3. And under there you'll have much more technical details, but also a full tutorial onto how to provide liquidity. And that's only a written one. There's also screenshots, but this is a baby for the advanced users. But we are preparing right now. We're working on multiple tutorials, video tutorials to guide us, our users through this as well.
Good stuff, man. That's what people like. Perfect. All right, let's do it a little bit, because you guys are using, one of the features of Voltage is using NFTs, like non-fungible liquidity positions, basically, in Voltage V. Tell us a bit more how these NFTs are functioning, Luka. Like, they're not monkey JPEGs, right?
No, not at all. And you can already resell them as you would do with like NFTs on marketplaces, right? This is a bit like it's NFT dedicated to a specific purpose, and that purpose is when you create a liquidity position on V3, you set liquidity ranges, right? You want to provide liquidity of a range of price for the given asset, and these NFT basically encapsulate that information. So that means if I choose to provide liquidity for Volt between that price, for Volt Fuse between that price and that price, well, then the NFT is going to capture that information. And when I create a new liquidity position with maybe different ranges, that creates another NFT. That way, we can track on-chain every liquidity positions.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Okay, cool. We're going to jump into my next question, which people are interested mostly in right now. So Voltage V3 brought the revamped fee structure and the Volt tokenomic upgrade as well. Can you outline the specifics of those changes, and more importantly, the expected impact on the ecosystem as a whole?
Well, for sure. Well, first of all, I'd like to, before I dive into details, I would like to underline that this is huge for Volt, the Volt holders, people in the ecosystem in general, because Volt is now deflationary, right? This is something people need to understand. It before, like we received a lot of people saying, yeah, Volt has a big supply and we keep minting it. Of course, it's the reward of the DEX, right? It's what we function on. But now we think we need to understand that Volt is now deflationary, and that's a big thing. For example, just from now on, every month, 7.4 million volts are going to get burned. That's like, I think, around 14% of Volt that are newly Volt minted token to be allocated as rewards are not allocated as reward anymore. They just burned straight away. Okay. That's already a big thing, right? But that's not the only thing. 8% of the fees generated on the V3 pools are also burned. So like 8% of the fees, that are generated between swaps and in those pools are also burned, right? So that's like, imagine if transaction volume goes up, what happens is also the burning goes up. So this is actually, a very positive circle, right? As many more Volt are going to get burned as volume grows. So we have a cap of 7.4 million Volt that are monthly burned. But also as volume grows and as people start to really engage with V3, start trading on V3 pools, what happens is there will be more and more Volt burned as well. So you have to see this as an exponential curve of burning. That's very exciting. And another 8% of those fees are directly redirected to the Volt stakers. So now when you stake Volt for V volts, you actually get higher incentives to do so. So first of all, there is less supply every day. every
Yep.
month,
Yep.
and also you have high rewards when staking it.
So the
So that's
impact is
very, very bullish for both
the
worlds.
impact is bullish and significant, and I think, like we see in the questions, and we've done a few of these AMAs, and this is what people want to know about. Like UI is great, and all these little fancy things are perfect, but these are the real questions that people want to know. So, thank you for answering that, Luka, and there will be more updates regarding that as we go forward as well. So, let's talk about tokens a little bit. Let's talk about Vault. So, you published a teaser about an upcoming listing for Vault. I don't know how much you want to say. What is the strategy here in regards to the listing of vaults? And can you give us a bit of an indication of what you guys are planning? I know you've got a new guy working with you who's got a focus on this. So tell us a little bit, man. Tell us a little
Yeah, so all right, I cannot say too much. Still a teaser, right?
bit.
What I can say is that last year in April, if I remember correctly, we listed Vote on MEXC, and
Yeah,
the impact was quite huge. Actually, we got many new token holders. We got volume ramping up as well, and visibility in general in the DeFi world, right? But this was before all those changes happened, right? In the meantime, we introduced V3. In the meantime, we introduced many other things, and most importantly, this new deflationary mechanism, and also vote, let's say, vote takers rewards. So
yeah,
as we roll out V3 and this new value accrual mechanism for the vote token are coming up, we accept volume and price to trend upwards. And that is actually something that exchanges are looking into, right? Like what we want to do is making sure we are strategic in the listing of votes
yeah,
on a centralized exchange to like start slowly but surely ramping up volumes. And with this, we can actually go to other exchange and say, look, our token is trending. We have this and this mechanism. We're already
yeah,
listed on this and this exchange. And that way we gather new audiences, but also we gather, let's say, recognition in your whole ecosystem. And also, one thing that I would like to mention is not only about vote, actually. It's also something that is much more strategic in a way that we've seen it lately, right? A lot of people are looking for the next ecosystem to blow up. In my opinion, Fuse completely qualified as this, right? Very underrated,
yep.
cheap transactions, very competent team working on projects. And
Mhm.
I think if people are looking for the next ecosystem to blow, right, they're going to look up at which protocol to look for in that ecosystem. And Volt is perfectly placed to be at the centerpiece of the explosion of Fuse, basically. We are the powerhouse of Fuse, and we intend to
I
stay it,
agree.
to stay it, to stay it.
I agree, man. Like I remember back a few years ago during the previous bull run, looking at DEX tokens as a hot ticket, to be quite honest with you, and looking at different ecosystems.
Yeah.
Arbitrum was becoming one, Optimism was becoming one, and zoning in on their leading DEXs, and then looking if they had tokens and blah blah blah. I mean, this is not financial advice, obviously. It's just yes, I agree with you. That is what people are doing, and that is how people move. So I don't think we're going to see anything too different in this cycle. So it's a really good point, Luca, I think. And I think the overall picture is just more positivity, isn't it? And overall in the space. So speaking of that, like it's evolving, and I think that's people who don't work in this space probably don't understand how fast things go here. Like yesterday, it was totally different to today, and I think you,
Yep.
Luca, you and
Yep.
I know that. And I'm not just joking when I say that; I really mean that. Like yesterday was 100% different to today, almost. It's crazy. So
Mhm.
it's not. I'm not going to say it's hard. I'm going to say it's difficult, you know, to continually evolve at a pace like that. So that's why we do these sessions as well, because people have got these questions and we want to answer them because the answers are valid. So as DeFi keeps evolving, like I said, and
Mhm.
Voltage is contributing to this and shaping the future of DeFi on Fuse, that's what we said. People are starting to ask about the launch pad and other things. There's other aspects to Voltage that are important too. So, Luca, how do you see that? How's Voltage evolving to meet the evolving DeFi trends?
Yeah. So first of all, I completely agree with you on the fact that the DeFi is so fast in its evolution that
Yeah,
actually introducing V3 was a way to fit today's standards as well, right?
yeah,
V3 is mainly used on Uniswap
yeah,
throughout like the ATH or BAC chain, but we also wanted to introduce this to the Fuse chain, right? Voted has been the first to introduce Fuse Liquid Staking, a mobile app for Fuse Network, and a launchpad as well. And you mentioning like lately we were talking and we talked about a lot of new projects coming to Fuse through the grants program you guys have, right?
yeah,
But people that listen to us right now have to understand that if a project wants to launch a token on Fuse, where is it going to go? Right? It's going to go to Voltage. So we already introduced Miracle as the first perp DEX on Fuse, right? They're already have trading volume. They're already starting to be very successful, right? So that first launch was a success, and now we're looking into integrating new projects. So I know the community is they're always looking for the next, blue chip opportunity to find to jump.
Right?
Exactly. But yeah, you can rest assured that we are working to revive that launchpad again with new projects coming in that are actually very good projects. I think maybe Ian, if you want, you can say a little bit about those projects coming in. But I know there's a lot of things burning at Fuse as well. A lot of projects are actually looking into Fuse to launch because has a very dev-friendly SDK, and also is actually quite interesting to mint anything. Like for example, stablecoins. Today we introduced a new protocol with a new stablecoin launching on Fuse and also on Voltage. And so slowly but surely, the DeFi ecosystem around Fuse is building up, and Voltage is the centerpiece of it. It's the powerhouse of it, right? So let's say I want to make sure the Fuse and Voltage community know that we still have a lot of opportunity in store, and they'll have opportunities to be early adopters.
It's a really, really solid point, Luke. People might see these announcements about other DEXs arriving on Fuse, perpetual lending platforms, high leverage trading, and think, oh, well, does this mean that Voltage is not the one anymore? But no, exactly what you said. They all flow through Voltage. It all has to come through Voltage. So Voltage is not going anywhere, and it's ultimately the most important DEX in our ecosystem. So yeah, absolutely, man. And I think the launchpad as well is an interesting thing. It was to launch Miracle. We saw the launch, it was successful, everything's fine. And it's two-sided here, isn't it, Luka? Like if you had 100 projects on there, people would be saying you got too many. And then if you've only got one, you don't have enough. And it's very, it's hard to keep everybody happy all the time, isn't it? People want new things, but it takes time and it takes some vetting as well for these projects. You don't want to just put any old thing up on the launch pad. So yeah, man. Just thinking about that out loud a little bit.
At the end, we're all benefiting from the whole ecosystem growing, right?
Exactly. That's the point. Okay, so, and I mean, we're talking about growth, we're talking about growing. One of the things for Voltage is that the team is growing. The team has gone through transitions over the time I've known about Voltage, and I know that Luka, you've been there for some time now, and you've got recruitment going on as well. Like, tell us a bit, man. What jobs have you got available? Who are you looking for? What?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, Voltage is always building, right? We've been building through the whole bear market. We're still here, and we don't plan to go anywhere. We're actually looking to grow the team. Right now, we have 2 open positions, right? One is a full stack Web3 engineer. That person will be basically helping us expand our bandwidth onto, like, for example, solving bugs, for example, or also building stuff. Basically, what we want to do here is expand our bandwidth on the tech side to make sure we can both get better at what we already have, but also develop faster on what we want to develop. So that's basically what we're looking for in terms of devs. But also something that the community might be excited about is we're looking for a dedicated community manager. When I'm talking about this, it's not a moderator only for like chats, right? We're looking for someone to revive the DAO. We're looking for someone to revive the governance discussions on a forum, on Snapshot, right? And of course, it goes without saying that we would like to get the community even more involved in what we do, more feedback, more positive loop, and of course improve our DEX at the end, and of course also improve our user experience in the future.
When you say about
if sorry Ian. So I would just like to take this moment to ask people that are listening or people that will listen maybe later, you can always reach out to me on Telegram as Luka Voltage Finance. If you know someone that fits one of those either roles, please reach out to me and I'll make sure to pass on to recruitment.
All right, nice, man. Just a quick question there. So community. A community can be global or a community can be local. What is it that you guys are specifically looking for? Are you looking for someone to take on the global scale to begin with? Is that the kind of role here? Obviously, you're not going to ask them to conquer the entire bloody world, but you get the question, right?
No, again, I understand what you're saying. If I understand correctly, what you're asking is if we're looking for someone to deep dive into our current users, or someone that would like to expand to like other maybe ecosystem and bring them in.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, do you want to nurture what you've got, or do you want to expand beyond? Yeah, or both. Actually, is probably the answer, right?
Right, you got it. Yes, exactly. It's actually both, but I would like to say more importantly, get even more feedback from our users, right? We really
Yeah.
want to dive deep into how our community reacts to our products to make sure we understand user behavior, also user expectations about our products. So to make sure that when we're launching a product, first of all, it's not half-baked. Second of all, it's also like fitting user needs, like
Yeah.
has a product market fit. And third of all, that we, even though the project is already launched, that we still keep continuing improving, right? That's also why I mentioned the full stack Web3 engineer, right? This guy is also supposed to come in and help expand our bandwidth to solve the bugs and develop faster. Yeah.
And is there scope within that person's role to perhaps, you spoke about forum posts and doing proposals on Snapshot. Like, is there some scope for that person to have a bit of a DeFi brain, like a degen head, and to be going off
Yes,
and proposals onto dexes, like onto
yes,
dexes for token listings, for farms, for pools? Is that part of it too?
sure,
Yeah.
sure. Also partnership with all DeFi protocols. Sure, sure.
Got it. All right, cool, man. So you guys heard that. If anybody's out there listening today or in the future, give us a shout. Exciting prospect there. All right, man. So we've ran through all my questions, Luka. You'll be pleased to hear. Mine are done. So now is the community questions, and these guys are going to smash you. So you should have been happy about mine. Right? Okay, so we've got some good questions from the community. I'm not going to go with all of them. We've got about 30. I've picked them through. And I'm going to start with a really tricky one because we're not here to fluff Luka by any means. So, Luka, I am going to start with this question. Actually, no, sorry, we'll get into that one. Let's fire through these ones first. Will Vault
Sure.
ever become cross-chain or have Ethereum or Binance contracts?
Oh yeah, that's a question that has been coming back and forth from the community, and we heard about it many times. So reason why we didn't give an answer now is because this is not right now. It's not in the plan. However, if for those who have like read the roadmap, it is actually I don't remember. No, it's not mentioned exactly, but we mentioned something around this, right? So right now, this is not the main focus.
Yeah.
Let me set that clear. However, this is something we are looking into, and this is an idea that we are developing right now. It's not, yeah, again, it's not the priority right now, but
Yeah.
it's definitely something we are like an idea that's growing in our mind and that we were okay with.
Okay. Fair enough. Next one. What is really going to catapult Voltage to new heights? And are there any game-changing features that people should be aware of? I think you should start by telling people what you've done, Luka, because you've done an awful lot. So
For sure, for sure. So coming back to the roadmap was published early January. Right
mm,
now we are, let's say, a bit past mid-February, so
mm,
1 month and a half has passed since we published the roadmap. And look at what we already done, right? This is not to brag or anything, but look, we promised bringing Voltage V3, it's here. We promised Volt tokenomics upgrade with some burning, it's here. We promised higher incentives for Volt stakers, it's also here, right? In such a short amount of time, we managed to package that around a very interesting value proposal,
yeah.
right? And I think people should look at this into a long-term thing as well. Again, coming back to the Volt tokenomics upgrade, there are monthly burns, and as transaction volume grows, more burns as well. So you have to see it in the long run, right?
Yeah.
It's about the long run. And Voltage has always been about the long run. We're here for good. We're here for long.
Yeah.
So let's look at it like Voltage V3 is here. We now have much more people coming, like being able to use V3 as a much more advanced trading option. Also, Volt tokenomics upgrade plus incentives. So actually holding Volt and using Voltage has never been so good than now. But
In terms
now,
of the
oh,
question of
yeah,
game-changing features, I'm going to
right,
put my
right.
hand in there. It's probably not game-changing, like we're not going to fly everyone to space, but what is there to look forward to, Luka, on the decks, like in the near future?
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good question too. And to look forward, well, again, let's look at the roadmap. We have Fuse Lending coming.
Yeah.
Also, again, this listing on the centralized exchange that is coming. And we mentioned earlier, new projects launching on Fuse through the Launchpad. So again, a lot of things are boiling up, are cooking up behind the scenes. I cannot talk about everything, but it is coming.
I mean, regarding lending, Meridian Finance launched on Fuse yesterday, their USDM stablecoin, and that's stage one of them moving further into lending. So we're at stage one with that. Lending's not there now, but the integration has taken place and we're on the road to that. So hold tight, everybody who keeps asking me. I've been doing these AMAs for years, and like I'm happy to have the answer for this question. So this is good. Okay, next, will off-ramping be a thing on the Vault platform?
All right, I'll have to answer this very shortly. This is something we're definitely exploring. It's been over a year that we have this in the back of our mind. Yes, this is something we're exploring. We're actually partnering up with projects in this.
Cool. Okay, nice one, man. Let's go. All right. Now this is the one. So this question is a bit hard. It's a bit harsh, but it's a question, and it's a good question. And Luka, I want you to answer this question. Why are there still bugs in the Vault app, in the DEX, and in the DEX website? Please tell us, Luka, why there are bugs.
Right. Yes. Well, I definitely answer this question and where this people is coming from. Like, these questions are coming from. Right. It's true that we still have bugs. However, we need also to understand that we are really doing our best to make it work for everyone. Now, it sometimes it's difficult in terms of bandwidth, but also people need to understand that it takes really time to build a perfect platform, right? The industry evolves so fast that we need to always adjust, right? We need to always make sure that we adjust, and we are very, very grateful that the Voltage community is here to provide feedback all the time about the bugs they're having very fast. So that enables us to like very fast take in this feedback, share it with the devs, and making sure we solve this problem as fast as possible. Again, we're recruiting on this. We want to make sure this goes better and better as the time goes. So thanks again for all the people that are really supporting us, giving feedback, and we're really looking into getting all this behind us.
It's a valid question, and it's not like the guys are trying to hide. Nobody's hiding this. Nobody's hiding from this question. We don't want bugs. You know, nobody wants bugs. It's not what anybody wants. Onwards we go. Okay, this one's interesting because it involves me too, Luka. Why was Tech Beardos discontinued on YouTube after just 2 episodes? Do you want to answer that, or shall I?
Well, look at us. We didn't change, right? No, yeah. It was discontinued because, to be honest, we had to focus on much more important stuff, both on Ian's side about the content side of Infuse, and also on my side, trying to really help marketing grow and make sure we were announcing things in a proper way as well. So we discontinued it just because we actually think this format right now is probably better for you guys to get informed about what we're building, both at Fuse and Voltage, and how we're complementary as well. Yeah, we had to reduce, allocate bandwidth somewhere else.
And we are sad.
Tell us if you'd like us to continue.
I enjoyed Tech Beardos because it was different, right? And it gave us the opportunity to talk in a more simple, non-Web3, I'm trying to explain blockchain to my mother way. And I love that. So that's why I liked it. But okay, sorry, man. If you love us that much, you can watch this AMA over and over again. All right, cool. Next question. I miss the weekly updates on X, Twitter. Why did you guys stop tweeting every week about developments? Luka, why did you stop tweeting?
I apologize. Let's say this is again a question of bandwidth. A lot of focus has been put on strategically thinking about how to introduce V3 to our users, but also before that we had the FUSD V3 stablecoin upgrade. Before that we had other stuff, the launchpad and also other stuff. So we really wanted to make sure that's how our team is really lean, right? We wanted to make sure that every minute we had was focusing on building and pushing our products. Yeah. But now, as we pushed out V3, I heard you. I'm going to continue working into those updates.
I think it's a nice thing that people miss it because you get used to things like that, don't you? It's like your weekly wrap up and you quickly digest everything and off you go back to your life again. I think they're good, right? So again, like we said earlier, good to get feedback. Otherwise, we don't know these things, you know. A little like on Twitter doesn't mean that you actually like it. It just means you clicked a button. Okay, here's another tricky one. Why did you remove the price graph from Voltage Finance? Are you working on a new one? Why have you taken that down?
Yes, so we are working on a new one, a better one. Actually, with again the introduction of Voltage V3 is also pushing us to make everything better in general. And for that, we are on the brink of releasing a V3 analytics page. And we took your feedback into account. I'm going to make sure this comes back as well.
Perfect, man. Yeah, I mean, it was, I think, yeah, obvious going to be there. Okay, cool. So last question. Trying to ease downward price. Any solutions for this? I think we've gone through a lot of this stuff, and I think a lot of the features that we spoke about are inherently designed to do this, aren't they? And that question is basically from a token holder who's like, when moon, basically. So I guess the answer is how long is a piece of string, really. But any answer for that?
But like, yeah, well, to wrap this up, I think we could just make a sum up of what we did say, right? First of all, V3 is here, much more high incentives for users. Second of all, introducing burning in multiple ways, right? Monthly burn is a cap, but also fee burning. This is exponential. This is where I think the most value is. Also, vault holder rewards, sex listing coming. We saw what happened last time we listed on a centralized exchange, right? Lending is coming. Launchpad projects are coming. This is all boiling up, right? People have to see this as not like a one-time announcement. This is a long-term value proposition we are doing here. And also, I would encourage anyone to look back at the roadmap and see what we already built to make sure to like have confidence that we're building the rest too.
No, I think that's a really strong point, man. Like everybody's always about what's next, right? Like take a moment to appreciate what happened before you continually thinking about what's next, I think is an important lesson to be learned here. Anyway, that's the nature of everybody. I'm sure we're the same, mate. I always want the next thing. Don't tell me you don't. It's how we are, right? As humans. Okay, cool, man. So we've gone through everything, I think, and the title of the video was obviously Revolutionizing Liquidity Provision in DeFi. And that's what's happening on Fuse Network through Voltage. So we really, really encourage you to go check it out. If you don't understand what we're talking about and you're like, Liquidity, what are these guys talking about? Go to the blog. Take a little bit of time out of your day. It won't take long. It's not complicated stuff, guys. People just try to make it sound complicated. It really isn't. Go and check it out. And if you need help, give us a shout. We are always here to help you. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up because, Luka, it must be about 3 o'clock in the morning wherever you are in the world right now, right? It's time for
it is close to midnight. Close to midnight, yes. Sorry about my tired face. It's a long day.
Your tired, tanned, looking good face. No problem about that. All right. Thank you so much, Luka, for your time. I really appreciate you, and I know the time difference is big, so extra special thank you for that. Guys, if there's any more questions or anything, please, as I say, just throw them out to us. We are more than happy to answer those. And just keep your eyes peeled on the Voltage Twitter, on the Fuse Twitter. You will see updates. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Luka, we'll see you very soon.
Thank you, Vody. Thank you, Ian, as well.
No worries, guys. All right. Take care, and we'll see you soon.